Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hook, Line, and Shifter, brought to you by yours truly, Bob McCarty. Big things to talk about in this particular episode: XC Nationals up at Bear Creek Mountain Resort, Jerdon Mountain Challenge, and Oramm Off-Road Assault on Mount Mitchell. So, about 2 weeks ago, wife and I decided to take our tour of the East Coast and begin this endeavor of some racing. What happens, I actually raced XC Nationals on Thursday, Jerdon Mountain Challenge on Saturday, and Off-Road Assault on Mount Mitchell on Sunday. Started by renting a car, getting in the car on Tuesday morning. Tuesday was our travel day. Approximately, it's an 18-hour drive for us to get up to Allentown, Pennsylvania. That's where Bear Creek Mountain Resort is actually located. So left 5:30 in the morning, checked into the hotel approximately midnight Tuesday night. Long time sitting in the car. Not horrible. We kind of make the best of the opportunity that we have in the minivan. We rent a minivan for all of these travels. So get up to the hotel, travels, I think it was 1,100 miles, somewhere around there. Check in at the hotel, rest. Wednesday I have to practice. I got to practice on the mountain. I think our practice time was from 9:30 to 11:30. Slept in, drove over to the mountain, got ready to do our practice, 9:30 to 11:30, like I said. This is actually the fourth time that I've been to Bear Creek. It's Bear Creek Mountain Resort, just outside of Allentown. I believe you pronounce it, the town is Makunji. All right, this is where it gets good. In one of my posts, I said that 550 races, I'm still making mistakes. I'm still learning, still trying to figure this sport out. So sure enough, still learning, still making mistakes, and still trying to figure out this sport. You would hope that at a national, I wouldn't have to go through this learning process, but hey, it sometimes happens. All right, this is where it gets good. So we're headed out for practice work. I'm headed out for practice on Wednesday morning. I race my cross-country races on Thursday. Head out for practice on Thursday morning, get right onto the mountain. It's a ski resort, so we do a lot of climbing. Not that we do a lot of climbing other places, but you climb up the mountain, pretty much descend, climb up the mountain. It's the nature of ski slope mountain bike racing. So we're climb up the mountain. And as soon as we get to the top, we start to hit some single track coming down to the bottom. Keep in mind, this is the fourth time that I raced this place. At the bottom of this one section of single track, we generally went off to the right side. Off to the right, kind of off camber on the side of the mountain, over a small mound, and then back into a piece of single track. This point is going to be important a little bit later in the story. So I practiced that. After this particular section, we climb up the mountain again, and then we get to what is our first opportunity of what we call an A-B split, an A line versus a B line. An A line is shorter, much more technical. A B line is safer and a little bit longer. B line, in this case, had about 5 switchbacks or 5 chicanes to it to try and slow us down. Last year, we had the same opportunity. The B line, I think, only had 2, so it actually wasn't any slower to run the B line as opposed to the A line. So I get up to the top of the section, ready to drop into this A line, and there's a person standing on top of the hill, a track official, saying it's closed for right now. And what had happened is there was a young lady that actually crashed in the bottom of the whole thing. So I do the B line, a couple of chicanes, go down to the bottom of the mountain, turn, head back up for practice lap number 2. Climb up to the top of the mountain, come back down, pop out of this one piece of single track that I referred to, went up to the right, went over this mound, down to the left, back into this piece of single track. Some more descending on the mountain, turn, go back up the mountain, and now there's a piece of tape across the A line. The tape was indicating that, and the person standing there was also indicating that, the section was closed for the rest of the day. The A line is closed for the rest of the day. So, okay. Part of my head was thinking, okay, maybe the A line is just so bad that they decided that they have to close the A line and not allow anybody to ride it. So it's not going to be in the race. They're going to force everybody to the B line. Not the case. Go down the B line, get to the bottom of the mountain. Now I've had finished lap 2. Like, okay, it's time to practice. We have something called the start loop. The start loop is simply a way to thin out the pack before we actually have to get into single track, which is tight and twisty. So the start loop only happens on the start, hence the name of the start loop. So in the start loop, I go over to the starting grid and I'm going to practice the start loop. So first part is to head up the mountain. We take a couple switchbacks, come back down the mountain, and then it merges onto the existing trail. Once it merges onto the existing trail, it goes into a small piece of single track, and then we head into our lap. That's what I practice. It hurt in practice on Wednesday, but doable. It was uphill grass, and you go from standing still to really blowing your legs up. And I'll come back into play in a minute. Head out for one more lap, get to that same A-B split, still closed. So now I'm under the assumption that this A-B split is going to be closed for the rest of the day. Or it's not going to be part of the race. Fine. Finish out the day, finish out my practice, go back to the hotel, did 2 cycles of my air boots, trying to flush any of the toxins out of my legs to get ready for Thursday. So I think we raced at 10:15 or 9:45, something Thursday morning. By the way, Wednesday night absolutely poured. Tornado warnings on the TV, tornado warnings on your phone, absolutely poured. Luckily, the mountain can actually handle the weather, handle all that rain pretty well. Okay. Because I was the reigning champion, I had won this race last year, we get called up. I get the number 1 call up. So I get called up, I'm lined up a little bit center right, where it looked like the grass was beat down a little bit for the start. When I'm sitting on the starting line waiting to go, talking to some of my competitors, some of my friends, because I've been racing these guys for a long time, they said to me, "Oh, have you had a chance to run the A line?" And I go, "No, it was closed. It was closed all day yesterday." And they're like, "It's not so bad. Don't worry about it. It's not too bad. About halfway down, there's going to be some rocks. Just make sure you negotiate the rocks the right way. You're going to be fine." And I'm like, it got closed yesterday because there was medics in there for somebody that got hurt. Now you're telling me about 2 rocks that I have to negotiate. I've never done this before, and I'm about to go into my national race. All right, I guess this is what I have to deal with. So, the starter says 15 seconds. We go, take off. Sprint up the hill, the start loop. Not really, it hurt, but I wound up being in first. We start to come down the start loop, go through the couple chicanes, and where on Wednesday I had practiced a merge, where it's going to merge onto the trail. At this same time, I'm ready to do it. There's a piece of tape, directional tape across of it, pointing us to the left. And I go, oh my God. As soon as we turn the left, I look up and we're going back up the mountain again. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God. My legs are blown up from the climb earlier. Now I'm turning and go back up the mountain again. These are the cards that I'm dealt. Deal with it, Bob. It's what you got to do. Head back up the mountain. turn at the top again. Now my legs are full on, just blown up, miserable, absolutely miserable. Anybody that experienced this, it's kudos to you for trying to get through it, but god damn, it hurts. Somebody passes me on the inside. We start heading down the mountain, and finally we merge back into the section that I was referring to, where everything came back together in the small piece of single track. Go into some other single track. Now we're traversing across the side of the mountain, past all the Bear Creek Mountain Resort. At that point, my legs are still haven't come around, and now I've went from first to second on the top of the start loop. Now I'm going even further back. I'm probably in fifth or sixth at this point. Go into the next piece of single track, climb up to the top of the mountain. Now this is what I referred to earlier. We climb back up to the top of the mountain. We start going down some single track. My legs are coming around, actually feel somewhat good. And we're about to pop out of the trail to go into the section of trail that, this is my fourth time at this place, that goes into kind of off camera across the mountain, over the mound, and back into a piece of single track. That's where we're actually headed. Get to the bottom of this, I look up, oh my God, tape again. What are they doing? Turn left. Oh, okay, this is what I gotta do. Turn left, climb back up the mountain again, go through some single track, and then we kind of go across the mountain and we go into the woods. Full on, downhill, inside the woods, anywhere between 24 to maybe 28 miles an hour. I've never ridden any of this. In the 4 years that I've raced there, I've never ridden any of this. So I'm on the brakes, not knowing what to expect. Is there a bottom turn? Is there lefts? Is there right? What is the terrain right? Do I have the traction? What the hell am I even doing here? I've never seen this. Get past on the downhill. Now I'm 7th or 8th. Go into some single track after that. Single track with some rocks, some roots. Not that hard, but still every turn that I had to do was actually a surprise to me. Come out of that single track, go back up the mountain again, now for the third time. Go back up the mountain, and then we finally get back to that same point that I had done earlier. So I went like this instead of to get back to that same point. Okay, so go into the single track, we come out of the single track, now we're gonna go up to the AB split. I've never done this AB split before. National race, I gotta go for it. There's 2 rocks that you have to negotiate, and when you passed it yesterday, there was medics at the bottom of the whole thing. Okay, I gotta go for it. But the beeline is so much slower, I don't really have a choice. I gotta go for it. Drop in on the brakes the whole way down, trying to pick my line. I see the two rocks that they're referring to. Negotiate through the 2 rocks. Get up the other side. It actually wasn't as bad as I had expected. It was probably almost the way it was described to me as not too bad. Go down the mountain. Now the next part that gets even better. As I'm about to go through scoring to finish lap 1, I hear the announcer, and this is what he says. This is the pace of what the announcer says. He says, and we have our reigning champion, Bob McCarty. Oh, he's kind of far back. Looks like Bob's got some work to do. Oh my God, I can't believe this guy just said this. I have no idea how far off pace I am, but based on his sentence, I'm really far off of pace. I'm off of the leaders. All right, do what you do. Do what you know how to do, Bob. Get on the gas and go. You know how to run full gas. You know you get stronger as the day goes on. Let's go. Head out for lap 2, and I start to finally feel better, making my way through the pack and go from, let's say, 7th, 8th or 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th. Now I'm in 3rd place heading into lap 3. It was a 3-lap race for us. Heading into lap 3, I then see 2nd place off in the distance and just continue to push, close the gap as much as I could. And somewhere about maybe 2 minutes or so before the finish, I actually made a pass on an inside line on him, dropped into the single track, never looked back, just went full gas from there to the finish. So I wound up getting the silver medal at nationals. Gentleman that won, I don't know if I've raced him before or not, but man, he ran a really strong race from beginning to end. As a matter of fact, I didn't even see him. He obviously was one of the guys that passed me in the beginning, but I don't necessarily know who it was, but he ran a great race. So I wound up with the silver that particular day. All right, race is over. Awards, maybe an hour, 2 hours later, get the silver medal. Happy about that. I think it's my 14th podium at a national event. I have 3 gold, 9 silver, and 2 bronze. So I'm pretty happy about that. Pretty consistent, I guess you could say. Awards are over. Load up the van. Heading south. Another 12 hours in the car. Check into a hotel Thursday night, about midnight. We were in Marion, but the race is actually in Old Fort, North Carolina. So we went from Allentown, Pennsylvania, down to Old Fort, North Carolina. Check in the hotel, sleep in, because we're pretty much exhausted. I keep referring to her as my wife and I, Amy. Check into the hotel, sleep in Friday morning, wake up, and my legs actually feel pretty good. I didn't have to do anything for 11 hours sitting in the car. Granted, sitting isn't a whole lot of fun, but at least there's no fatigue in my legs. Friday, I decided to practice the Jerdon loop. So Jerdon is the race on Saturday. Race on Sunday is called Oramm. Jerdon is about a 38-mile mountain bike race, somewhere around 5,000 feet of climbing. Sunday is a 60 or 61-mile race, Oramm, and this particular year it's got about 10,000 feet of vertical elevation or climbing. Both grueling races. If you look at results for these events, you cannot compare them to years past. The courses were unique. Jerdon was unique this year, different than any other year in the past, and Oramm was also different than all the past years. So you cannot compare the two. Oh, and by the way, most people race Jerdon or Oramm. Most people sign up for Oramm since Oramm really is the cream of the crop as far as pushing and really trying to challenge yourself. Okay, so practice Jerdon, did the entire Jerdon loop, felt good with it, went back to the hotel, did 2 more cycles of my air boots, flushing everything out of my legs. Saturday morning, woke up, normal breakfast, ready to go. I'll get into bike setup just before we talk about Oramm. This event, I think there's 250, 300 people that do Jerdon. Oramm, it's somewhere between 400 and 500. Had a great race, very uneventful. The only thing that was eventful about Jerdon is they put in a new trail called the Gateway Trail. I've never set eyes on it. When I practiced on Friday, I didn't ride this trail because it's never been in before. So a little bit of a surprise to try and ride it, but overall not that bad. Actually really fun and flowing, with some good climbing towards the end of it. So well worth a trip to North Carolina, and well worth leaving it in for future events because it broke up the monotony of this one long climb that we normally have to sit on. So after this new section of trail, you wind up climbing up a long fire road. The fire road leads into something called Star Gap. Star Gap goes down through the Heckle section, pops out at the church onto Mill Creek Road. Climb up all of this back to a trail called Kitsuma. I think it's an 11 switchback climb up the mountain. Descend Kitsuma back through a park, onto some asphalt, and then back in Old Fort. So wound up getting the win in the overall. I think I did it in 2 hours and 5 minutes, 2 hours and 6 minutes, and then also got the win in the age category as far as the old guys. Old guys meaning the 50 to 59 category, because I'm 52. That was it. Nothing really eventful in that. Legs felt good, body felt good, everything clicked. All right. After Jerdon, we now have Oramm. Jerdon's over, back to the hotel, another 2 cycles of the boots, got the legs ready for Oramm on Sunday. So Oramm, 10,000 feet, about 61 miles. Very unique course they decided to do this year. They put in that gateway trail that I referred to, and they also added a new trail called Bernard Trail. It really broke up the course, and in my opinion, made it a little bit shorter. Probably a little bit shorter than what the original Oramm courses were like. So I said before, this event has probably 400 to 500 people. Oh, let me get back into bike setup, because I had this. Somebody asked me this also, talking a little bit about bike setup. What is your bike setup? So I'm doing this on my Scott Spark. 120 millimeters of travel in the front, 120 millimeters of travel in the rear. I run an oval, absolute black oval chainring, 36 tooth front chainring, and then I'm on SRAM transmission, which is a 1052 in the rear. For my wife and people that don't know, it's 220, 221, whatever it takes.
Yeah, you're gonna make it all 220?
Yeah, 220, 221, whatever it takes.
Well, you sound like a pretty handy guy.
1052 in the rear, 36 oval in the front. 36 oval in the front is equivalent to a 38, 34 when you actually turn these ovals over. So very, very comfortable with that gear ratio. I'm running Pirelli XCRC 2.4 tires, Pro Wall, RockShox suspension, and then twin lock lever, so I can control my suspension, whether it's locked, mid, or full open, which I use quite a bit. And a dropper, RockShox AXS Reverb dropper seat post. The dropper is going to come into play, and a little bit of a story a little bit later on about the dropper, which I absolutely love. If you're not on one, get on one. Use it a lot. It's well worth it. Okay, so that was my bike setup. Tire pressure, I ran the normal numbers that I run: 17 in the front, 19 in the rear. Obviously tubeless, with flat chemical in there, and then I'm running Reynolds 309 289 wheels with Industry 9. Which ones? Industry 9 Hydra hubs. Crank Brothers pedals, egg beater 11s, the titaniums, Cork Power, gotta know my numbers, and that's about it. That's all that matters. SRAM brakes, SRAM level new Stealth Ultimate brakes, 2-piston, not 4-piston. Oh, rotors. 180 millimeter front rotor and 180 millimeter rear rotor. The Scott Spark doesn't actually come with 180 millimeter rear rotor. I chose to run it just to get a little bit extra braking power because of a section called Heartbreak Ridge, which I'll discuss in a minute. All right, so Oramm, they say go. We go onto a fire road. We leave town, asphalt to a climb. bike path climb up to Kitsuma, climb up Kitsuma, head down Kitsuma, go across Mill Creek Road over to the church. The church goes up a hike, the Heckle section. In this case, we actually have to hike up the Heckle section, walk. I've never seen it ridden before, and I've never seen a video of it ridden before. To me, virtually impossible. I'm sure somebody's going to contradict me on this and send me a video, but thank you. From there, we head across into what we call Star Gap, down Star Gap onto a fire road that kind of traverses along the mountain, some climbing, some descending. And then the difference this year is that we dropped to the end of it into the Gateway Trail. The Gateway Trail is what I referred to earlier that we had to climb in Jerdon on Saturday. Now we got the ability to go down that super fast, fun trail. That pops out and it gets into the good stuff. Curtis Creek. Curtis Creek is the infamous climb. Curtis Creek is a fire road that winds, switchback, winds up the entire mountain, ends on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Once it ends on the Blue Ridge Parkway, you get to go on the Blue Ridge Parkway and climb some more to the top of that. And what is the pleasure of all of that? When it all ends, you get to go down Heartbreak Ridge. Heartbreak Ridge by far is the most gnarly, hardest piece of single track I have ever ridden. I think I said earlier I've done Oramm, I've done Jerdon and Oramm maybe 10 or 12 times. The first time I was ever there, I had to stop on the downhill because I couldn't feel my hands anymore. Lean up on the side of the trail as people are passing by until I got feeling back in my fingers again. Once I got feeling back in my fingers, I'd get back on the trail for about 5 minutes. And guess what? Stop again because I lost feeling in my hands. This year, hands still, I'm not gonna say go numb, but man, they hurt. You just get the crap beat out of you down this single track. And the single track is it's probably about 40 minutes long, 30 minutes long of just beating the crap out of you. And in the middle of it all, you get the pleasure of having to walk even more because it's a middle section that's just, it's almost impossible to climb. How does all this stuff end? It ends down at the bottom of the mountain into the Heckle section, which I said earlier we had to hike up, come back to the same section. It takes, I don't know, over 2 hours to get back to the same section, so there's no crossover of people. Down through the Heckle section, up and over the infamous train tracks, past the church, climbing up Mill Creek Road, and then we dove into another new section called the Bernard Trail. Bernard Trail's really fun. The route this year was well worth the modifications that they made. It really broke up some of the monotony. It took us off of having to do Kitsuma 2 times. We luckily only had to do it 1 time at the beginning of the race. The second time we avoided it because halfway up Mill Creek Road, wound up diving into this trail called Bernard Trail. So one of the, sorry, I gotta do it. I can't see. One of the things that was interesting about Oramm, I have so many years worth of data, about 12 years worth of data. And what I do is I look back to see what did my numbers look like last year and what did my numbers look like this year. What was my feeling last year and what was my feeling this year. So I broke some of the sections down that were exactly the same. So one of the first ones was the start of the race, the asphalt, the bike path, up Kitsuma, down Kitsuma, through the park, and then on to Mill Creek Road. So I isolated that section. In 2023, I did it in 59 minutes and 11 seconds. 59 minutes and 11 seconds. And 2023, I thought, this isn't so bad. I don't feel horrible. I can do this. 2024, I thought to myself, I have never descended so bad in my life. Horrible. Guess what? 28 minutes and 58 minutes and 51 seconds. 20 seconds faster than I did in 2023. Yet I had the perception that it was horrible and slow. 20 seconds faster than I did the year before. Next one, Curtis Creek Climb. So my definition of Curtis Creek Climb, for those of you who have done the event, it's after we go through the feed, you turn left onto Curtis Creek Road, all the way up Curtis Creek, turn left on the Blue Ridge Parkway, climb the Blue Ridge Parkway, and then left onto dirt. My definition of climbing Curtis Creek is from that left onto Curtis Creek Road to the left that you take onto the dirt at the top of the Blue Ridge Parkway. I wound up, I got fourth or fifth, I don't know, overall in the event. So critique these numbers however you want. Put them in whatever category you want. It's just simply a reference for you to have an idea of how long does it actually take to do these sections. This is how long it took me to do. Could be faster by other people, of course. Slower by others, of course. It's just simply a way for you to get a reference of how did you do in this particular section. So in 2023, I climbed this whole thing in 1 hour and 35 minutes. The key is when I turned onto the parkway, about 5 minutes onto the parkway, I actually cramped really bad. The inside of my right thigh cramped really bad. I thought I was dying. Worked through the cramp, turned off the parkway, 1 hour and 35 minutes. Okay. This year, in 2024, I did it in 1 hour and 33 minutes. 1 hour and 33 minutes. Last year, I thought I damn near died. This year, I'm like, oh, I got this. I actually feel pretty good. In an hour and 35 minutes, I got 2 minutes faster. 2 minutes. I'll take it. 2 minutes, I'll take it. Final section is going to be the descent. The descent from when I said I turned left off of the Blue Ridge Parkway all the way back down to what we're going to call the church, the bottom of the Heckle section, over the train tracks and turning at the church. In 2023, I thought it was horrible. I did it in 29 minutes. 2024, I thought it was just as horrible, so much worse than in 2023, 30 minutes. So 1 minute slower descending from 23 to 24. So the good part with all of this is having access to numbers, to being able to train with numbers. You have an idea of what your expectations are. And also you have an idea, for instance, if you go back and do Jerdon or Oramm next year again, you have an expectation of how long certain sections are going to tape. I generally use blue painter's tape. If I can't memorize a number, I'll use blue painter's tape and I write segments on the tape and I tape them to my top tube. So Oramm, like I said, I think I got fourth overall, and then first in category, again with the old guys, 50 to 59 category. So happy with my performance there. The key is with all of these numbers and every year getting older and know that I've done this 10 times, I'm actually pretty pleased with my overall performance. And knowing that I was at Nationals, Bear Creek Mountain Resort in Pennsylvania on Thursday, in the car all Thursday night, practiced the Jerdon Loop on Friday, raced Jerdon on Saturday, Oramm on Sunday, and then got back in the car as soon as Oramm was over, drove all night long, strolled in about 2 o'clock on Monday morning. So just overall, what a fun weekend of racing. Very, 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 very challenging. So let's talk a little bit about post-race emotions, because I get this a lot. The lead up to Oramm is such a big deal. You're working so hard. As soon as a race is over, there's almost a sense of relief. It's finally over. And then you get home, go back to your regular job, and start doing what we'll refer to as your normal routine. And then the first day, usually 2 days later, you try to get on the bike and you feel like death. Absolute death. I can't pedal this bike. This is horrible. All I want to do is sleep and eat. Guess what? That's the normal emotion. 100% it's normal. It might take a week. It might take 9 days. Hell, it might take 10 days. This is my secret of how to try and get through it. I don't fight the emotion. Let your body go through exactly what it wants to go through. Because take it from me, you are going to get through it and everything is going to be fine. One of the best ways to get through it is to go out and ride your bike. Because deep down inside, I bet you there's something about you that's saying, you got to ride, you want to ride, you try to ride, I got to ride. All my fitness is going away. All my competition is getting faster than me. Go out and ride, pedal your bike. 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, if you're not feeling it, turn your ass around, go home, and relax. Try it again tomorrow. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the ride. I'm just not feeling it. Turn your ass around and go back home. Trust me, the time will start to go by that next thing you know, you're in the saddle for an hour, 2 hours, and things will become normal. That's the first one. Let your body do exactly what it wants to do and don't fight it. You're not getting any slower. You're not losing any of your fitness. Your body emotionally and physically needs to recover. Next thing is always have something off in the distance. Always have some event off in the distance. I said a long time ago, and I've referred to this quite frequently, there's nothing better than the date on a calendar. Nothing better than a date on a calendar, because it's going to force you to try and it's going to force you to help get through this emotion where you just don't, I'm not feeling it, I just don't want to ride my bike. This is going to help you because in the back of your head, you're going to be thinking about the event. So give your body the time to recover. Go out and ride, and if it's 5 minutes and you don't feel it, turn around and go home. 10 minutes, turn around and go home. 20 minutes, and so on. And always make the phone call to a friend, because they'll help you get through this also. But allow your body to go through the emotions that it has to. You're not alone. 100% you're not alone with this. I am dying the beginning of the week after Jerdon and Oramm and Nationals, and 33 hours in the car. Yes, I'm tired. I'm hungry. But I got through it, did my rides. The other way I got through it was, what do I have coming up in the future? I'm going to close with a couple of things with you today. Two new segments that make me smile, because I get the questions a lot. And then what do I have coming up in the future? So in the future, we have Leadville, August 10th, and the Markham race on August 11th. Leadville, Colorado on the 10th, the Markham race on the 11th. So what would Bob McCarty do? Tell you exactly what he's going to do. Leadville, because it's at altitude, I'm making the smallest trip possible because I do not have the ability to stay there for 2 weeks to acclimate. You have to make the smallest window possible. I fly into Denver Friday morning, get there about 8:30 in the morning, do a little bit of riding in the afternoon, race Leadville Saturday morning, 6 a.m. or 6:15, I think we go off at. Saturday night, taking the red eye. See you guys at Markham on Sunday for the Rumble in the Jungle. Rumble in the Jungle benefit race for Markham Park. All the funds raised. Markham Park is all volunteer based. All the entry fees, 100% of it is going to go to the volunteer program of purchasing equipment and keeping that park as good as it is. So, tell you what, even if you don't want to race, go on to racemarkham.com and just sign up. I don't know what the fee is 50 or $60. Just sign up so they can get the funds, so they can buy the tools, they can have the equipment, and they can keep the park going. And by the way, do that for your local park too. Any way that you can contribute is more than helpful for those volunteers. It's a very unique and special people that are willing to go out there, especially in South Florida at 95, 96, 97 degree days, and build those trails for us. So support. Again, Rumble in the Jungle, racemarkham.com, August 11th. I believe the course will be set up some point on Friday. I'm hoping. I got to make the proper connections. I try to do a pre-ride video every year. I'm hoping to get that video out on the 8th. I'm hoping one of the guys will actually take me through it. If you're watching this right now, please send me the message and let me know if we can pull this off, because I'm going to be traveling on Friday. So I'd love the opportunity to put out the pre-race video so everybody has an idea of what to expect. So support your volunteers, support Markham Park, racemarkham.com. All right, I'm going to close with this. 2 segments that I've been wanting to do. First segment, we're going to call it "What's in Your Water Bottle?" So I've been doing this for a couple weeks now. And what happens is every time I have a thought about what's in my water bottle, I jot a note down and I put it inside my water bottle. So where this came from was I did a race a couple months ago, back in the beginning of the year. And one of the questions that always comes up is, what's in your water bottle? Man, I'd love to know what's in your water bottle. Everybody wants to know what's in your water bottle. Essentially,
everybody watching online that might want to, hear from an expert what's a good thing to try or do or eat or drink.
So the reason I'm grinning here is this: you don't know how many times I get this. I get this question: is how do you go so fast? What's the secret? What's in your water bottle?
We're going to go with what's in your water bottle? Take this first one out. Let's see what's in your water bottle. First one. Never give up attitude. Never give up attitude. When the gate drops, it's a motocross term, or the gun goes off, it's you against yourself, your emotions. Never give up. Is it going to hurt? Absolutely. Do you want to cry? Absolutely. Do you feel like dying? Absolutely. But you signed up, push. You have the ability. Your emotions compared to your physical side, the emotion side is pretty powerful. Learn to harness that power. That's the first thing that's in the bottle. Never give up attitude. What's the next thing that's in the water bottle? Make every day count. Make every day count. What happened yesterday is not or does not matter anymore. It's what are you doing right now and what are you going to do tomorrow to be better than you were yesterday. Make every day count. make every pedal stroke count. That's two things. There's more. There's much more inside there, but that's just two things that are in my water bottle. Final thing, and a couple years ago, I came up with this because I started to really think about about this topic that constantly comes up. After the race is over, there's so much talk, and I love it. I absolutely love the talk. So this segment, we're going to do it every week also. This segment is going to be called Woulda. W-O-U-L-D-A. Woulda. And what it is I woulda finished here. I woulda done better. I woulda done this. So after 2 weeks ago traveling, racing Nationals, Jerdon, and Oramm, I put together my top 3 woulda racing. Number 3, regards to Oramm. I had to walk the heckle section. I would have done a lot better. Number 2, my dropper post quit working halfway through the race. I would have done a lot better. And the number one woulda that I heard, and some of these aren't directly to me, but I just overhear conversations. I ate my breakfast late. Think about that one. I ate my breakfast late. I woulda. Stop making excuses. When you cross that finish line, be proud of every single thing that you accomplished that day. As long as you gave 100% of your effort and your energy into that particular day, you should walk away proud. Because by the way, if you had breakfast on time, if you didn't walk the heckle section, and if your seat post didn't break, you're guaranteed that you might not finish any better than you actually did. But the fact that you can actually vocalize something like that is a sign of weakness up here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. Hook, line, and shifter. Again, Bob McCarty. If you like what it is that I'm trying to do, please click the subscribe button down on the bottom, click the like button, and share. Thanks for watching. Hook, line, and shifter.